Hi guys, it's me again, and today I want to talk to you all about why I'm buying Baldur's Gate 3 despite not having a lot of interest in playing it. Now, it might change, however, I might try it out. I mean, shit, I already have the game, right? But anyway, this is going to be, and I know this is going to be a surprise, this is going to be a positive video about gaming in the year 2023. We don't get a lot of those, but every once in a while you have your North Stars, you have your guiding lights, well, in this case your guiding moonlights, such as From Software, and now Larian Studios, showing the rest of the industry how it's done. Much to the dismay of the rest of the industry, if you read Twitter, by the way. And the reason why, and there's a lot of reasons, obviously Baldur's Gate has been developed for, I think, the better part of 10 years now. It might have even been longer than that. I think the last one came out long enough for me to see it in a thrift shop 10 years ago. So it's been a long time coming, and there's 172, I think, hours of cutscenes in the game, infinite possibilities, D&D rule set, etc., and bear sex as well, which is very exciting. And the reason why, however, is none of those. It's, you know, kind of I talked about before, the, what's the word for it? The mining canary problems. Well, this is what the opposite is. Let's go ahead and read this here, okay? Are there any, this is a question that was sent to the developers, Larian Studios of Baldur's Gate 3, asking about in-game purchases. So are there any in-game purchases in Baldur's Gate 3? They respond. They say this. No. All right. No. Great. No, there will be no in-game purchases in our game. We believe in providing a complete and immersive gaming experience without the need for additional purchases. Enjoy the game to its fullest without any additional costs or microtransactions. I think, guys, we don't get a lot of those nowadays, you know? It's been a while since we've been able to hear this, and it's nice to hear it again. And we had the same thing with Elden Ring, and every once in a while games come out, and they're able to actually be for gamers first. And I understand that this has got a lot of people on Twitter upset, especially people that work at other gaming studios, because they're afraid of being held to the same standard. Now, I think that everybody can generally understand why a live service game that's continuously updated, etc., would need maybe some form of microtransactions to keep development funded, right? Yeah, sure. But we're talking about a single-player game that's being released as a complete experience, as a love letter to the community, and really as an investment in what their brand has been for, I mean, what, Baldur's Gate, was it 30, 20, at least 30 years? It's insane how long these games have been around, and I really, really appreciate this. And I think that nowadays there are so many, like, you know, the new game comes out, everybody's excited, and it's like, you know, you have this video game paradox that we have nowadays, this inverse correlation where the less you know about a game, the more excited you are, and then after you learn more, especially after the monetization talks, people become less excited. Oh, there's going to be a battle pass. Oh, there's going to be a seasonal battle pass. Oh, there's going to be skips for the battle pass that you can spend money on. Oh, the battle pass is going to increase your character's power. Oh, how lovely. What a great game. I can't wait to spend 200 hours farming knickknacks in the game. Oh, I click one thing, one of 253, collect them all because we love to waste your time. There are many games that are like this, and as a compulsive fucking idiot, I usually play into at least a lot of the collection metas. However, many other people don't, and I think a lot of people appreciate a game that respects their time, and I think more and more, especially as money has gotten tight, people respect a game that respects their money too. And that's why I'm supporting Larian Games, that's why I'm supporting Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be honest, outside of Honkai Star Rail, which by the way is not a very good example of what I'm talking about, I've never really played a lot of turn-based games. The last one I played was Super Mario RPG, came out, I don't know, like maybe 25 years ago. So it's been a while since I've actually played any turn-based games. They're not necessarily super appealing to me, but I might actually give it a shot with Baldur's Gate because of how much I believe in what their vision is. They're willing to, you know, take pay cuts. They're not trying to appease a, you know, board of shareholders who, you know, many of the people who are making important decisions are not even really sure what Baldur's Gate is entirely. They don't really understand it. They never played any of the other previous games. They're not really video video gamers, you know, maybe they play Candy Crush. This is very upsetting for a lot of gamers, and it should be. It's very worrying. But the reason why this is important, and the reason why I want to support it, is because of the very simple truth of the free market. And this is one of the luckiest and also simultaneously unluckiest things that we have to deal with as gamers. I think that a lot of gamers nowadays, especially in the last 10 years, have come to the slow, sinking realization that the problems with monetization that us more hardcore gamers have don't necessarily resonate in the minds of the casual player base. Very disappointing, very upsetting, but FIFA's Ultimate Team seems to sell out every single year. What the fuck? But the truth is that whenever you're able to support a game that doesn't do this, whether it's something like Vampire Survivors, whether it's Armored Core 6, whether it was Elden Ring, whether it was Dark Souls, Sekiro, Baldur's Gate, Halls of Torment, plenty of based indie developers, by the way. If you're looking for integrity, ingenuity, creativity, there has never been a better time for indie gaming than right now. But we're talking about Larian, obviously, which is not a AAA studio. It is, however, a AA studio. And what I mean by the free market is that we can choose as gamers to support games that adhere to policies and practices that we find to be fulfilling and things that we truly enjoy. The biggest problem that gaming has is that people love to complain about games, but they also love to play them. And I understand that I think we all do this sometimes, right? Oh, you play a game that you hate? Yeah, who doesn't? But I think it gets a little bit too serious. Sometimes it happens too often. And I think in some cases it's okay to play a game that you love as well. And especially if you want to give a vote of confidence to people who are actually trying to improve the genre, improve the industry, and improve the space. And that's one of the biggest and most important things I've found just in general with gaming, because as soon as one person or one group sees success with something, other groups will try to emulate and do the exact same thing, because they also want to make money and they want to capitalize on that group. And my goal is to make sure that people realize that that group exists. I dream of a day that you can just buy a video game and that's all you have to do. I've played many pay-to-win games, and I don't really... It's not the end of the world to me, and you know, as a streamer I kind of do things for content, etc. But it's not really something I'm going to invest my time into on a personal level. I'm not going to, you know, go and play something like this off stream all the time unless I really like it, or you know, there's some other reason. In general, I don't really like a lot of this stuff because there's no sense of satisfaction, there's no sense of accomplishment, there's no sense of meaning whenever somebody else can leapfrog you just by spending more money. There's no sense of completeness whenever you look around the city and everybody else surrounded. Like, I understand cosmetics, it is what it is, right? It's a free-to-play game, that's the industry nowadays. I understand, but I also understand that I remember a day that you used to go into Stormwind, see somebody with Thunder Fury, and you used to be impressed by that. Now, I understand that obviously Classic WoW kind of shed a little bit of light on what an accomplishment that really is. However, I think that the illusion still could have existed back then, whereas now, nobody's even fooled. So, it's disappointing to see, and that's why whenever we see a game like Baldur's Gate 3 come out, I would urge people who are interested in games like this to check it out. I'm not saying buy it, I'm saying check it out. You know, what you do with your money is your own fucking decision. But the truth is that that's what I'm going to do. And whenever I see games that are like this, I try to do my best to take that out to you guys and share these ideas and these games with you, because I feel like they are a positive force for the industry. They're a positive force for gaming as a whole. And they're also a positive force for us players, because these are games that, again, not only respect our time, but also respect our wallets. But guys, shit is getting expensive. Things are getting crazy expensive. And if people want to ask us $70 for a fucking game, they better not try to tack $20 on for it for another fucking outfit. It's crazy. And it's like, I get that sometimes, you know, things are complicated, things are hard. Yeah, I get that. I understand, and everything is a value proposition, and everybody's computation with that, everybody's formula is a little bit different. But whenever we see somebody that doesn't do that, I think they deserve the respect of the community, and I think they deserve that acknowledgement, if nothing else. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to share that, and I wanted to talk about something positive in gaming nowadays. And I'm probably going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, so I apologize in advance. But I really think that in the last 5 years or so, indie games have shown just such tremendous promise and such tremendous enjoyment that I might have actually enjoyed more indie games in the last 3 to 5 years than I have AAA games, honestly. Between something like Hades, Vampire Survivors, Halls of Torment, something like Hollow Knight, I'm sure I can think of a dozen other ones if I just sit there and, you know, like go over it. But those are the ones that come to mind. These are the games that I really enjoy playing, and they're games that don't try to have a 200-hour goal. They're not trying to have, you know, 1,000 collectible MacGuffins. We don't need that. People just need a comprehensive, you know, complete game that respects the player's time. And whenever I see that, I think it's amazing. And whenever I see it here, it's great, and I think that we're seeing it even more with a lot of these indie games. I understand that indie games are a bit of a mixed bag, and that's why, of course, you have reviews, you have people on YouTube, and you have Twitch, you can just watch what's going on. But nowadays, there are so many more tools, the distribution is so much more opened up, it's so much more of a free market, and I think it's been such a great time for gamers to be able to, you know, step back from these AAA studios that seem to be, instead of too big to fail, they're too big to succeed. You have to develop a game 7 years in advance. Bro, 7 fucking years ago, I don't even think Fortnite was popular. Like, I'd have to do the math on that, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So it's like, how can you develop a game that far into the future unless you have, like, either a core vision or something that is equivalent to that? But a lot of times, these games are just trying to do the exact same thing that movies are. Oh, great, now we have a new Spider-Man. Oh, great, now we have a new Transformers. Oh, great, that'll sell more toys for the new generation of kids, which I'm sure it's nice for them. But to be honest, I'd like to see some new content. And I feel the same way about games. Things are just continuously being remade, ideas are being rehashed, risks are being taken less, and I think that we have to look towards indie games to taking those risks and being that litmus test for these big companies to try to actually develop games that are innovative in a degree that, you know, a lot of people haven't seen. And the truth is that I think indie games are doing that incredibly well. I think that they will continue to do that, and as technology evolves and people's ability to develop products evolves and games more quickly and with less resources and less teamwork and effort, it's going to be even more of a buyer's market, and we are the buyers, and we are so lucky to be in this place. So again, obviously indie games are doing great, but every once in a while we have a really big game like we had last year with Elden Ring, and we're getting this year with Baldur's Gate. And I want to make a video and really kind of give them a shout out for what they're doing, and I really appreciate it. And you know what? Maybe I might even play the game. So anyway, guys, that's about all I've got. I'd be curious if you have any games like that in your recommendations down in the comments. Maybe I might play some of them myself. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, you know, I might think about playing some of them myself, and maybe some other people would as well. So, like, if you feel like there's a game that deserves this credit, a game that deserves this acknowledgement, I'd be really curious to hear it. But, yeah, anyway, guys, you know, W to Larian Studios. And Baldur's Gate 3 apparently comes out today or tomorrow, whenever. And no in-game purchases, no bullshit, no pay to win. It's just a fucking video game. And imagine that in the year 2023. That's about all I've got. So, I'll see you guys later. Peace.